representation of wealth inequality, and the neoliberal underdog. So, Gully Boy shines in how clearly it represents the extreme divide between the rich and poor in Bombay or Mumbai. The movie creates a story that revolves around the clear geography and social divides. The character Murad lives in a claustrophobic, crowded, poverty-stricken environment in the Dharavi slum. At the same time, the flip side is vast. Luxurious high-rise buildings where Murad serves as a driver. The cinematography always highlights the contrast between these two worlds. Murad sitting inside a fancy car outside an expensive nightclub, with the rich life on the other side of the glass. So basically, a stark contrast between the affluent society and the poor slum area that he lives in, that he comes from. Nevertheless, whereas the camera lens can illustrate the gap between the rich and the poor, it also wraps systemic inequality into an easy to understand individualistic underdog story. Systemic violence in Dharavi is depicted primarily as an obstacle that the protagonist must overcome solely through his innate talent and hard work. The escape from the impoverished state is portrayed as an individual effort while systemic dysfunction is ignored, calling for political revolution. Individual anger is recognized, but it is effectively harnessed into the dream of achieving neoliberal and capitalist success by becoming a rich rapper rather than making any systemic changes. The sanitization of Azadi and the erasure of political danger. The prime example of such ideological softening is found in the film's rendition of the song Azadi. The history of this song illustrates how dissenting voices have been commodified across culture. Originally released as an independent piece of work in 2016, Azadi had been recorded by Dub Sharma. It featured explicit samples of student activist Kanhaiya Kumar's voice from his protests against the establishment, caste, and capitalist politics at JNU, Jawaharlal Nehru University. This 2016 song was a radical politically charged piece. For Azadi to feature in Gully Boy in 2019, it had to undergo extensive sanitization. Keeping the same melody and the chorus that speaks of freedom intact, the verses of the song have been changed so that instead of being critical of the oppressive ruling, political order, and the caste system, it offers an overall critique of class inequality and corruption. During the film's promotional run, director Zoya Akhtar acknowledged that the makers deliberately modified the lyrics to suit the context of the film's narrative. Similarly, the original composer Dub Sharma confirmed in an interview that he reworked the same song and just changed its context to separate it from the specific 2016 JNU protests. The main point here is that all the controversial elements of the song, which were a direct challenge to the established order, have been removed to ensure the film does not run afoul of the masses or the government. Platform dynamics, the aestheticization of activism. However, the dilution of ideology found within mainstream films is made even more problematic by the architectural structures of contemporary digital platforms. For civil society to have space for democratic solidarity, we need to be critical of the technology behind the digital platforms where these discussions are taking place. Even though digitalization offers a possibility of democratization of voices, algorithms within social media privilege aesthetics over political solidarity. The case of YouTube and Instagram, solidarity and consumption. Comparing the uses of each platform reveals this digital contradiction. As mentioned earlier, a platform suited for extended use, such as YouTube, can foster real subaltern solidarity. Through the comment section, text based storytelling can be done, allowing the marginalized listener to form a counterpublic. However, algorithm based platforms like Instagram Reels are driven by aesthetic consumption. When the politically charged audio of underground DHH gains traction on such algorithmically driven platforms, the music often becomes completely separated from its socio political roots. A critical analysis of interactions in these platforms uncovers a stark disparity. There are those who are privileged upper middle class users who use the raw audio of marginalized spaces as a cool backdrop for gym workouts, expensive shoes, and lavish lifestyles. This makes the emotional intensity part of a new tribalism for those who use that music to gain traction online